This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast. This is episode 295. We're starting a brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, 2-film franchise.
Yes.
Produced by Michael Bay. This is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2014. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, I know you've seen all of these movies in the theater.
Yeah. It was a first-time watch for you.
This is a first-time watch for me. Let's be honest here, okay? When you went in to see this theater, and I know this is a heavy CGI film.
Yes.
What was your initial reaction seeing the CGI the Turtles?
I'll never forget the day I saw this. I saw this with two of my friends from work, and I did a double feature of this and a movie called Into the Storm. You remember that tornado movie? Mm-hmm. I saw them both back to back. I'll never forget. It was a weird doubleheader. What did I think? This was 2014, so we're 9 years ago. At the time, the CGI it wasn't that bad. I mean, I grew up with the other ones, but I was just excited to see another Turtles movie because it had been 7 years since the animated one, the other animated one. So I was really excited when I went in. I didn't really care that they were CGI. Once we start talking about the film, I may have some other issues, but the CGI was mostly good on them, actually.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little creepy.
Looked weird. They look good.
It looked creepy. I'm going to be honest. Watching the CGI version of the Turtles was a little bit creepy coming from the puppets and then the cartoon. They gave it this more realism of Turtles.
They look better than the ones in part 3.
They did. They look way better with part 3. And they got lost of that stupid freckles in their face, which I was so happy about. But the only creepy character was Splinter. I was like, yeah, he looked.
They tried to make him too much like a real rat, and it was disgusting. It was gross.
It reminded me of the Little Mermaid Sebastian that made the stupid.
Yeah, scary.
That looked creepy. And I was like, that was horrible. Anyway, let's have fun. Mm-hmm. All right, Nate, what did the audience and critics have to say about this film?
It's not looking good. It's not looking good, especially from the critics. Audience is right at 50. So half and half. You go up to 10 people, 5 might like it, 5 might hate it. A critic score, 21% critic score for this movie. Oof. So not very well reviewed or received, but I remember it did decent. I know you're going to share the box office. I remember it opened pretty good at least, but yeah, not amazing reviews.
Well, financially, this movie was the bomb. It was a $125 million budget, okay? On a worldwide total of $485 million. This was a success.
It was a success.
Yeah.
Even by our metrics, double would have been 250. Even if you had 50 million, it cleared over $100 million. And then I think this was another one that did well on disc. I remember there's a lot of versions that came out with you get the mask and the van and usually when they do that, it means it's selling pretty well. So I'm sure they made even more money there.
And even more money now, right? Didn't this just come out in 4K?
Yeah, they just released it in 4K. That lets you know it did well enough to get a 4K release. That means people bought it on Blu-ray.
Well, you know what scares me, man, about that talking about movies going on 4K, this is totally out the curve. I threw a curveball here.
Okay.
Blood Vein or what's that stupid video game?
Oh, Blood Rain?
Yeah, getting a 4K. We got all these.
Blood Rain?
Blood Rain is getting a 4K. You cannot tell me people went all over the place.
I think that movie did good on DVD.
I want Stealth. Out of all the movies we ever did,
Stealth over Blood Rain any day of the week.
Yeah.
Come on.
Give me Stealth.
Come on,
but
Sony.
Blood Rain is getting it. Anyway, back to the reality here.
Stealth.
Yes. All right, let's get right into it. Critics gave it this thing. It was like, oh, this is garbage. But the audience was like, we're all going to the theater and enjoy this movie. But this was my first time watch because I'd never seen this before. Did Michael Bay produce a hit movie to us? Rewatching this? Or, well, for you is rewatch. For me, it's first time watch. Let's take it away. With the lead character, Nate.
All right.
The Turtles again. What do you think?
And Splinter. And we get some April O'Neil. I'm gonna preface everything I say with no matter what you score anything. I understand. This is like a divisive kind of movie. So I know people who hate it, like Turtle fans who hate it, and I know some who enjoy it. So if you gave everything a 1, I'd be like, I understand. For me, it is a super duper. It's a mixed bag of nuts. This movie. There are things I like, and there are things I do not like. So I think 1 and 2 I love. And then the 3 I hate, and this, spoiler alert, I like this better than 3 by far. But anyway, lead character, Turtles, I give them a 4. They're not a 5 for me. And it's not because of the CGI. It's just that they mostly got their personalities right. You know, Leonardo actually functions as the leader of them in this movie, like he has not in any of the previous ones. So I thought that was good. Mikey has the humor. They actually got Donatello right, in my opinion. He's with the technology. He's the geek. Perfect. And Raphael is the one, and right from the jump, he's like, I'm leaving. I'm going solo. He's the one who stops the Foot Clan. He goes by himself and fights all of them at the beginning. Like, so I think they got their personalities right. The reason I give it a 4 is because I feel like we've been scoring kind of the whole bunch, and I hate Splinter. I hate Splinter in this movie. I like when he fights, which we'll get to the action, but I do not like his voice. First of all, it's the guy from Monk is doing the voice, Tony Shalhoub. That's Monk.
Really?
Yeah, that's him. And I also don't like Johnny Knoxville as Leonardo. I remember when this happened, so all the actors who did the mocap did the voices. So Alan Richardson, your boy, Jack Reacher, he was Raphael. And then the other two actors, they did their suits and they did the voice. Apparently there was something up with the guy who did Leonardo and they didn't like his voice. And so they got another actor to do the voice. And it was Johnny Knoxville, who definitely doesn't sound like a teenager. I mean, none of them do really, but he really doesn't. Anyway, I don't really like Splinter in this outside of his like fight scene. He's a little overly like angry and mean. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he has that relationship of like a mentor that they respect. It's more like we're scared of him and, you know, he's going to just punish them all the time. And so I don't love him. And Megan Fox as April O'Neil, I will say, having seen Expendables 4 recently, her acting in this movie is a million times better. If you think her acting in this movie is bad, I wouldn't fault you. It's not great. But she's been so much worse in other stuff that I was almost like, wow, she's pretty good in this movie compared. So she's not the best choice for April O'Neil. She's a little too gorgeous, in my opinion, you know, but whatever. Overall, though, I think they got the personalities of the turtles mostly right, so I gave it a 4.
Well, it's funny because wasn't April O'Neil, well, I thought she was hot in the cartoon.
She had like the short hair and red, and like she was probably like, she was like pretty, but like Megan Fox was like a model. So it's like,
I guess. You know what? What was different is that didn't April O'Neil have a jumpsuit, a yellow jumpsuit?
Yellow, yeah. All they gave her was the yellow jacket to kind of, feel like.
Well, all right, we'll get into it. Let's have fun. I gave the characters a 4. I really enjoyed them. My favorite character in this movie was Michelangelo. He was more funny.
He's funny.
I thought he was mad funny. He was like, "See you later, Angel Cakes."
Yeah, my friend loved him in this movie. She was cracking up the whole time.
A little creepy at certain parts, but when he was like, "I got dibs on her," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's wrong with you?" I liked Raphael a lot too. I like the guy who plays Jack Reacher. I just felt like his voice didn't fit Raphael. I guess I wanted another voice, but you're right. They're teenagers. They sounded like adults. Except I did not know Johnny Knoxville was on Leonardo because it did not sound like Johnny Knoxville. So to be honest with you,
he was a last second
Donatello.
addition.
Okay, I like Donatello a lot. I thought he was cool. I like his gadgets. I always like his gadgets. Mm-hmm. I felt like the CGI to me with the glasses. I didn't like the glasses much. I don't know why he needed glasses. I guess it's to give him that nerdy look, but I was like, we already knew he was a nerd. Like, why give him the glasses?
He wears glasses in the new animated one, too.
Oh.
But not those goggles. No, it's just regular glasses.
Yeah, but, okay, I know you watched it a lot more than me and remember it. But he never wore glasses, did he?
Not in the cartoon or anything, no.
So I guess that's just giving him the
new. I feel like that's
trait.
A new thing. You're a nerd, you wear glasses.
Yeah, so, okay. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it felt weird with the big glasses, but I love the book bag with all the cell phones and I thought that was cool. I was like, that's a cool addition. What I'm missing? I think I got everyone. Splinter.
Mikey got the rocket-powered skateboard.
That was cool. He was
cool.
like, it's my turn, dudes. Yeah. He ran off the thing. Yep. I was like, I came to save the day. Like I said, there was moments of the characters, mad fun. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, even when he's like, hit him with the Batman voice. And he was... I
only saw Batman once.
Yeah. I thought like all that stuff for me, I thought it worked well. It felt like teenagers, but acted by adults. That's what it felt like when you start to hear it.
Man voices.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you look at those turtles...
the first one. So they sound like men in the first one, too.
Yeah, so in terms of Splinter, I didn't like his voice. I thought that, he was creepy rat looking, but I kind of got used to him. But my favorite part with Splinter is the mashusha,
the hashish. Or
the hashish.
Something like that. The hashish. Not the hashish. Yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, I rewinded it twice laughing. And they're like, not the hashish.
And stuff.
Yeah. And then he was like, Michelangelo, this is the Mona Lisa of pizza. He was like, dude,
the I'm 99 cheese pizza. And Donatello's like, it's impossible.
You can't put that much
He's listing all the cheeses.
Yeah. I thought that, like I said, it was funny moments. And that was one of my favorite ones because he was like naming every cheese. He's like, and he was saying it with the actual like Italian way of saying it. Yeah. Oregano. Yeah. And Michelangelo's like, no, I can't. And then he just said it. I thought that was funny. Like, that was cool. April O'Neil, I'm not a big fan of hers. I think she's cute, but I think she worked in this movie. I know she was super hot, but I thought she worked well. Storyline wise, we'll talk about that storyline. But in terms of April, I thought he was good. So anyway, I gave it a 4. You gave it a 4. Main villain is Transformer Shredder.
It's Shredder, and it's also what was it? Sachs. Is it William Sachs? Something Sachs. I know it's something Sachs. Yeah. William Fichtner, I know, is the actor who plays him, who I like, by the way. I like that actor.
He's good.
He's reliable.
Wasn't he Dark Knight?
Eric Sachs.
He was the one that was
banker in
the
Dark Knight
right?
in the beginning. Yeah. So we have Eric Sachs, who's a businessman, and then we have Shredder. There's a lot to this movie where when I watch it now, I remember all the reports. So I'm going to keep going back to them. I remember everyone thought he was going to be Shredder. And I think in early drafts, he was going to be Shredder. And then when they started doing tests and all this stuff, they went back and added in an actual Japanese guy to be Shredder, which is why he's not barely a character in this movie. He's always in the shadow. He has scars. He talks a little bit, and then he comes out with his freaking Transformer suit. That being said, the suit looks awesome. It does, but it's not Shredder. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't need that. Yeah. But in this movie, he needed it because the turtles are 8 feet tall in this movie. So it kind of makes sense. If he was fighting those turtles with like regular, like his little shiny pajamas from the first movie, he will get destroyed. They're freaking huge. So it makes sense, but I don't love that decision, to be honest. He got all these knives he could like throw and they could come back with magnets. And it's just not my favorite version of Shredder, but I think he does look cool. Eric Sachs, he's a businessman. He wants to become rich. You know what was weird, Alex? Watching this movie now, I haven't seen this in a long time. I haven't seen it in at least like 6 or 7 years. It was weird that the whole thing was about like vaccines and all this stuff. And then you look at real life now, and that's how all these like pharmaceutical companies, you know, they have all these diseases and then you got to get a vaccine and then they make billions of dollars. I'm like, wow, this is pretty timely. This should have came out now. It was like, they're going to give everybody the green COVID and then he's the only one with the antidote. And that's what they're using so his plan was good as far as becoming very rich. All he wanted to do was become rich. He said it. He's like, I'm going to become very rich. Shredder is the one who wants to kill the turtles because they have other criminal enterprises. The Foot Clan is in this, which is cool. It was cool to see the Foot Clan come back. So, but I gave it a 2 because I don't like Shredder in this. Also, the girl who's like a Foot Clan leader, she is from the comics and the cartoon. Like late in one of the other versions of the cartoon. I forget her name. Like Karai or something like that. So she's real, but they didn't utilize her well. They didn't utilize Shredder properly. So 2.
All right. Well, this is where I dipped a lot also. I gave it a 1. And this is why. I felt like, well, first of all, we all know, I didn't mind how they use Shredder in this movie because you don't want to give him full-fledged Shredder. I mean, out of the blue. So I didn't mind it. I just felt like the Sachs guy, I felt like he was such a generic type of villain. Like,
he's a Bond villain.
A business guy who wants money hungry, turns on his best friend to go with Shredder and went to Japan and under a sensei, Shakataka Shredder. And I was just like, it was cool in the beginning because she runs and be like, oh, wow, the turtles and all this BS. And he was just like, well, and I already knew. The minute she went up to him, I was like, oh, this dude is evil. And then I was like, okay, great. Now, within 2 seconds, he gives her, and like, who carries a business card with a tracing device in it? I'm just saying, he literally went in his wallet and went, here's a business card, and all of a sudden it had a tracker. Like, does he have like 80 copies of
debit card?
He gave it with an air tag. Yeah. But I don't know. I just felt like that sequence was lost for me. Shredder. Now, with Shredder, I did like the suit a little bit. It just became a little, I don't know how, my thing is fighting the way they were fighting, and I don't want to go into fighting until we hit fighting action. But my thing is that what hurt me with the villain, he was doing moves that I'm like, you can't do that in a robotic suit.
8,000
you know what I mean?
Suit.
Yeah, it's pretty much a punch you, throw you on the floor, and then hit you like 100 times. But this dude was throwing, I hated the knife throwing. It was pretty it felt like a video game boss. Remember when he tried to knock the tower down and he threw all the knives and you see the tower starts to lean down.
Yes.
With the stupid thing. That felt like a video game. So for me, I wasn't too crazy with Shredder. I wish though, they gave him a little bit of the suit, but it was more like Tony Stark's nano suit. So at least he could fight the turtles, and it looks like him fighting the damn turtles. So it felt pretty cool, like a small versus 8-foot turtles. So anyway, I mean, with that said, it hurted me to say this, but I gave it a 1. I was not too crazy with the villains. I felt like it was just a generic storyline when it came to villains in this department. Okay, action scenes.
Okay, so here's where I'm a little torn. I was torn when I was watching it. I was like, what do I give this? Because I didn't give any of the first one. I didn't give them like crazy high scores, but this one has way more action than the other ones. This is a full-on action movie. Really, it is.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of CGI, obviously. So that's the other thing. I landed on a 4 for me. I landed on a 4. I think there is plenty of action. I actually only love one sequence though. But you do have like in the first one with Raphael and the Foot Clan, it's dark, you can't see. I like the subway scene where you don't really see them, but you see them all, like the Foot Clan getting, it's a cool nod because remember the other one they fight in the subway, Raphael fights them in the subway and saves April. So that was a cool little nod to the first movie. But you know, I liked it. It was cool. I do like when Leonardo throws that one dude through the train while it's moving. That was a great shot. He just like chucks him into the train. And they definitely use their weapons in this movie a lot. Leonardo be slicing people, and they're all doing it. So I love that aspect. I do love the mountain scene on the snow. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of, I remember seeing it in the theater and being like, this was a fun set piece. Like with Donatello. And I love that part where Raphael wants to go. He's like, no, let me do it. You know, like, let me be the badass for once. That's what he says, literally. He's like, come on, I'm the nerd. And then he goes and he does his thing. And I was like, good for him. Good for Donnie, the dork. He was able to get out there and do something cool. And then Raphael, of course, he just goes like a freaking missile and launches himself into that tank car. And I thought it was fun. These turtles are freaking humongous. It makes sense that they can do what they're doing there. And you get Mikey using the rocket skateboard in that fun scene. My problem is not even the finale. So then when the real finale comes, it was not as cool to me. When they fought Shredder, not as cool. You know, the way they defeat him, they play that game from when they were a kid where they jump on each other's things. That was a cool callback, but is it like an awesome looking visual? No, it's not. You know, they just did some regular punches and kicks and they were able to beat him when 2 seconds ago they couldn't even touch the guy. So things like that. But overall, there is a lot of action. It is well shot. And I love when Splinter fights. I do. I got a kick out of seeing him, especially when they're all on the floor. He's like, bah, 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 bah. He's doing like machine gun punches on them. I enjoyed that. So I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's funny watching when the movie started, it started at a 5. And I was just like, okay, action is a 5. And I was really into it. And I was like, you know what? For Turtles, I was like, I can see why they went CGI. They could do way more, which they couldn't do with puppet. You know what I mean? I was a little hesitant with the super strength and the bulletproof turtles. And I was just like, that took it away from me. Because I was just like, the fun part about me enjoying the original Turtles is that they get hurt just like turtles, like humans. They get sliced and they bleed. Just like when Raphael got his ass beat, he was, well, semi-bleeding.
Like in a coma or something.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah. Like, the dude was done. So I was just like, oh, cool. That hurt me. I was like, they have freaking bulletproof? Like, who thought of this? Because it was just like, dude, we're bulletproof. Like, they didn't know. I mean, of course they wouldn't know. Yeah, I was just like, oh, so that deducted the 1 point. Other than that, I was like, I'm not deducting points because I loved all the action sequences, except the ending. I agree with the ending was so bad. It felt like a Transformers movie at the end.
Yes. That building collapsing and
yeah, which was so far-fetched. I'm like, this is on a high rise in New York in Times Square and no one got hurt. Like, I was just like, oh, come on. So, but if you take away that third act crap, I liked everything. Like, my favorite was Splinter because I remember saying it in one of the reviews, I wanted to see him get down and whoop it. Oh man, when I saw him jump up and he crackled and then he took off his chancletas, he went,
yeah.
This
is like when Yoda fought in the prequels. Remember that
part
moment?
3. Yeah,
you know, it's like the sword, and you're like, what am I about to see? It was kind of like that. Splinter gonna fight? What? You know?
He took down Mad Dude with his tail. Like, I liked it. And then when he went up against Shredder, and I was just like, this is whack. That's the only part that I was like, this was whack. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to see Shredder fight Kung Fu against, you know, because they had the same master, but I don't know if this movie was going down that timeline of they had the same master, you know what I mean? Or whatever they did in the first movie. He had that big mechanical thing, and then he was whooping him, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then he was like, no, go, my sons. And I was like, no. I was right into it. That was cool. I liked the snow scene too. I'm not going to lie. Because it was cool because they have shells, so it was pretty funny seeing them going through. Yeah. And especially with Leonardo, because he was the first one that went down, and they were all in the back of the truck, which I thought it was funny. And then Raphael's the one who hit the car.
He's the one that rolls into a ball and like cannonballs into the truck.
He was like, Donnie, slingshot. And he went, whoop, he threw him. And I was just like, okay, this was actually really, 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 really fun. Like, I was really into that whole sequence. The innuendo, I will say, with Megan Fox, a lot of the movie.
Her butt shot where she's just like leaning out of the car and Will Arnett is like, get the shot. Creepy old guy, you know, like what?
I was just like, that threw me off during that sequence because I was like, you really did not need this in a kid's PG-13 movie. No. Like, we all know she's hot. So, like, we didn't need to see a butt shot. Yes. But honestly, kudos to the action department and the cinematography because CGI-wise, it held up on 4K very well.
I agree.
Yeah, 4 across the board here. Okay, I already know where we all gonna go here. Storyline.
All right, so here's my dilemma. There's a lot in this that I don't like, story-wise. And there's some that I do like. So it's not a 1. I will just preface it. It's not a 1 for me because, like I said, I think the Turtles, even though that's lead character, it is still part of the writing and the storyline. I like it. What I don't like, what I hate about it is the origin. That is my main gripe. I'm okay that they were lab turtles. I hate that April O'Neil was like, they were their pets. That whole thing of like, you guys were my pets and I used to play with you. And, you know, I hate that. I hate that she knows of them and their origin without them having to like tell her. That was always the thing, right? They're hidden, they're mysterious, no one knows about them. When April finds out, scared, but works with them, because, you know, you get to know them, whatever. Here, she's like, yeah, you guys were my little pets, and I got all these videos of me, playing with you in the laboratory and all this. And Splinter, like, she knew all of it, and I hate that element of the origin story. So I think they botched that. The other thing was, they were originally going to be aliens, okay? I remember this specifically. They were going to be aliens, and everyone online was like, if you make them aliens, we're not going to watch your movie. So then they changed it. They changed it back.
They were aliens from Turtle.
Yeah. You remember Sonic when Sonic was ugly, and then they went back and redid the CGI?
Yeah.
It was like that. Like the backlash was, and so there's a line in this movie that still exists where they're talking about the ooze, and like, where'd it come from? And she's like, it came from outer space. And I'm like, what? No, it doesn't come from outer space. I don't know if someone forgot to remove that line from the script or something, but it's in the movie. So there's little things like that. It's like, this is so stupid. I gave it a 2. I think the weakest part of this movie is the villains and the storyline. The other characters are good, the action is good, but those two things really bring it down.
It's all right, man. I did it for you. I gave it a 1. I thought it was a stupid storyline. And this is why. I agree with you 100%, man. That April, when I was sitting there, okay, let me tell you, I was sitting there, right? And I was just like, okay, I'm in there enjoying the movie. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And she's in the train station, right? And she does whatever. First of all, she could run really fast because she found where that tunnel leads and she went to the roof. And I was like, okay, whatever. She gets to the roof and then she starts to go, wait a minute. She's like, Raphael? Leonardo?
These names sound familiar.
Yeah, wait a minute. And then she ran all the way home, goes in her Pandora's box of stuff, has all this footage, and she was like, I knew it. And then she tells her roommate, I guess. Yeah. And she's like, I taught these things when they were little, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael. They survived. And I was just like, what? I was like, who came up with this bombard stupid ass story? It's a stupid story. I'm sorry. It's dumb. And then Splinter knew because he was like, you have to get the girl now. And I was like, what? Like, I hated that. And the fact that got me really mad is when she goes through the footage and she goes, hey, Michelangelo, here's a little pizza. And I was like, so this is where his love for pizza came from because April gave her fucking pizza. Like I said, get the hell out of here. It's like, take this stupid shit out. You mix that with the horrible villain storyline. And you know what you create? Transformers 5 through 7. Because this felt like a Spider-Man 3 movie with the dad betraying his friend. Got a disagree. Right? Peter Parker wanted to get rid of
Amazing Spider-Man 2. Where his dad was missing. Yeah, and her dad and all this. You're right.
Yes. It's the same story. I was like, what? I was like, I just saw this. I was like, just paint them red and white.
They came out the same year, by the way. 2014, both of these.
There you go, bro. It is the same movie. And I said, this is horrible storyline. So I gave it a 1. I just can't believe they really thought having April O'Neil giving Michelangelo pizza was his love for pizza, but I still love my man. My man,
but he's funny too. Remember, Splinter calls her some name that she's like the protector. He's like, my girlfriend is the whatever it is. Like, he's like so in love with her. And like, shut up. Which I like that though, because Mikey was in love with her in the original one too. Remember? He's like always wants to talk to April. He loves her. So I was okay with that, but he was funny in this. I did think he was funny.
At the end was pretty funny too. He was like, "You're not gonna go in the ride." I had this music queued up.
Oh yeah, check out the bass. Shoots a rocket. He's like, I'm still getting used to the buttons. And,
yeah, funny. I think he sang some song, right? You and
imagine me and you.
Yeah. I thought that was fun. Like I said, I thought the whole thing was that whole stuff was fun. But anyway, not funny enough to go up in storyline. It was just a 1. You gave it a 2.
Yeah.
All right, your overall.
A 3. I don't hate this movie. I don't hate this movie at all. Spoiler, I guess. I liked the next one better from what I remember. It's been a while since I watched it, but I think Out of the Shadows reminds me more of the cartoons. So I like it, like Rocksteady and Bebop are in it and stuff. So yeah. So I actually like the next one better, but I think this movie's fine. I think it's fine. It's not too long. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It flies by. Honestly, when I put it on to when it ended, I was like, it was like that. So it has good pacing. For me, as big of a fan as the Turtles, as I am, if they get them mostly right, I tend to be fine with the movie. I hate 3 because they're wrong. They're all wrong. And then everything else is cheap and horrible. This is expensive, looks, shot well. So it doesn't have the production, the poor production quality. But to me, I enjoyed the Turtles. I enjoyed Raphael. Like I said, he's always my favorite. They got him right. I enjoyed their interactions with each other. A lot of people hate when they're rapping in the elevator. I like it. Because you got to remember, they're supposed to be teenagers. And you remember they're like, we got a hip hop album. And Raph, you're supposed to be the hype man. So then when they're in the thing and they hear the beep, 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 and then he starts doing it and they start.
Oh, yeah. Cause I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because they're supposed to be kids, essentially, 15 years old, 16. So things like that. I'm like, okay, I like it. But I remember online people like, this is so stupid. It's like, okay, they complain if they're too grown and they complain if they act like kids. So I don't know what to tell you. I liked it. But overall, I give it a 3. I think it's an entertaining but flawed.
I agree. I gave it a 3 too. I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to see like again like this year, but
I don't rewatch it.
I could pop it on. Mm-hmm. It's a really funny movie. Again, it reminds me of a Transformer universe. Like it felt like it's there that might like they really took Michael Bay's style in this movie. That's the only thing that I wish they would leaned away from was that. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. And the only thing I really hate thinking about it now that you brought it up was the ending when they were falling off the satellite and they were all saying, I broke your iPad or whatever the hell it was.
I licked all the ice cream and put it back or whatever.
That was mad funny. Oh, the Pop-Tarts.
I licked the frosting off the Pop-Tarts and put them back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, some stuff was funny. The Raphael thing was just I was just like, oh my God. He said, I just love you guys. And it didn't fall. And I was just like, hey, that was a high fall. And they didn't even. It was
just landed on the floor. Fine. There was no impact.
And nothing with April. Like, I was like, lady, you would have been destroyed. Like, falling from that high. Yeah. I was just like, I didn't like that whole sequence, how that ended. Yeah. I gave it a 3. I thought it was good. All right. Total points.
15 out of 25.
Okay.
It's right in the middle. I think it's fine. Again, I think it's inferior to especially part 1. I think it's superior to part 3 in an extreme way, but flawed. A lot of flaws, but I enjoy it. I don't rewatch it as much as the other ones, but I do enjoy it for the most part when I watch it. So 15 for me.
I gave it a 13.25.
You had a couple of ones in there. So
yeah, I had a couple of ones, but other than that, I thought it was pretty decent and it was pretty fine. Now, I will ask this though before we go on and end it. Do they change Splinter's voice?
It is still Tony Shalhoub, but we do get. I don't want. No, you know what? This is not really a spoiler. We do get Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett. Everybody Loves Raymond, the brother with the deep voice. He is the voice of Krang in the next movie.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty good. And wrestler Sheamus, Sheamus. Yeah. He plays Rocksteady. Pre Rhino and Rhino.
The human version.
He plays him as human, and then they get mutated. So you'll see. But he plays, he does the mocap. So they got a big old wrestler. My boy Sheamus is in it. And Casey Jones pops up in this one. So I don't know. I like Out of the Shadows better because it feels more like the cartoon but with like the budget and the big budget and the special effects and stuff. I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, I'm looking forward to it next week. All right, what's coming up next?
Next episode is going to be Rogue One, continuing with our heist month. We're going to space. We're going to a space heist in this one. Little Rogue One, haven't seen this, I don't know. Might have been since the theater, to be honest. When I was watching it, I was like, I don't even remember some of this stuff. So Rogue One, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows will be wrapping up our Ninja Turtles franchise, and then we'll be going into a new one after that.
Love it. Love it. A first Star Wars, a review. I love it. Love it. Yeah, it is on the channel. All right. Other than that, guys, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts, please follow Nate over Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything action movie, guys, head over to Instagram at Geeks and Flicks, or head over to our official website at www.geeksandflicks.com. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.